Hello, I'm Marge Boyer. I was asked recently by the Institute of Directors to give a presentation on women on boards, what it's like to be a chief exec. And giving this presentation, I used a few props. I've had several requests since saying what props did you use and what did you use them for. So I thought I'd spend a couple of minutes just explaining some of the props that I used and why I used them. And the first prop I used was actually Metrolink, and that's a Metrolink model. And it's really to illustrate the fact that we're not machines. As chief execs and as leaders of companies, we're not machines, and we actually don't want to be machines. We're human beings. And I gave a couple of examples just to differentiate between the two. The second area that I looked at and used a prop was to talk about when you go into a company, how the workforce in that company want to know what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and how it's going to affect them. And of course, they're quite concerned because they don't know. So I used the stress ball to illustrate the fact of communication is critical to any change at all in a company. Now, another area that I talk about is one of contribution from your staff, from the workforce, and how they can use a DICE as a method of framework, as a contribution towards that development of that company. It is so important that they understand where they fit into the development of the company, and the DICE illustrates a point, and I use a few examples to show that. We all know about innovation, and we all know about being adaptable, and I use a light bulb, not an actual light bulb moment, but a light bulb to show how being innovative and being adaptable allows your workforce to develop themselves at the same time as developing the company. And again, I use a couple of examples of how I've done that in the past. One of the areas that some people find difficult is what I call the two sides of the coin. Now, this happens to be a £2 coin. It could be $1, it could be €1, it could be anything. But it is important that the leader understands both sides of that coin. If the top side of the coin works, it works extremely well. But if it doesn't, you then have to flip that coin and take some actions. And another area that I used a prop for, which happened to be a triangle, is to show that sometimes when you have a problem and you think you can't solve it, it's amazing how other people can solve your problem if you only ask them. And again, I give a couple of examples of how in the past I've been able to do that and been able to use a solution that has not been provided by myself but been provided by others, and obviously given them their recognition for doing so. So I hope that kind of illustrates a little bit about the props I've used in the presentation and why I use them, and some of the examples of how I've used them.